Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hot Topics, the show, the podcast, where we create, inspire, and
Transform.
there you go. This is Gloria Goldberg, the founder and the creator of the podcast Unbreakable Life with Glory, where I talk about depression, anxiety, and PTSD in a holistic way and natural way to always make you feel better. And next to me, like always, my beautiful co host, Kia Baker.
Hi, everybody. Well, if you don't know me by now, my name is Kia Baker, and I am the creator and host of the Female Veterans Podcast, as well as Women Warrior Stories for the Veterans Channel, and success coach at London Real Academy. And I am so tired right now because it is very early for me. And we are on early today because we have a very special guest.
We do have a special guest. He's in the other side of the other world, like far, far, far away.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to accommodate all our guests. That's the purpose of Hot Topics too.
That's right. We're a global show, and therefore we have our guests from all over the world that come and share their wonderful products. They come and share their insights, their wisdom. They come and share their knowledge and their passions with you.
Yes. So, Kia, my dear, you look beautiful with those glasses. Very few times we see you with glasses. You look like a sexy teacher.
Thank you. I am a
Well,
sexy teacher.
you're sexy, but now it's a sexy teacher.
Yes. So today I am wearing my glasses because, sometimes you got to shake it up a little bit, change up your look, be a little bit different. And so today's the day for that. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So today is very early for you to be in the show. It's too early there.
Girl, it's 9 a.m. And I really like to just still be in my pajamas at this time. I might be working, but I'm just in a more chill mode. I'm not all full face and, doing all of this and live where everyone can see me when I really just woke up. So this is different, but you know what? To accommodate our guests, I'm happy to do it because they have great messages to share,
Yes,
and you never
yes.
know who might need it and when they might need it. So I feel like everything happens in divine timing, if you will, at the right time or the right moment, whatever you believe. And so whoever's watching this or whoever happens upon it, when they happen upon it, it's meant for them.
Exactly. And like we run our show in a way, in a natural way. Like if the guest cannot do at 3 p.m., we accommodate in another time because we know that guest is gonna bring a very important message for somebody out there that really need it. So that's why we change sometimes the times because our show is global and we need to accommodate our guests in some way because that's the mission to accommodate anytime.
Mhm. Yeah,
Right?
and also we get a lot of love in the replay. Like we do okay live, but we do
Yeah.
much better with our replays anyway. So if you are watching this or listening to the podcast version of this show, whenever you hear it, then that's when you're meant to, and we appreciate the love and support either way.
Exactly. So we're going to talk about today a lot of different topics. But before we go into that, you want me to bring the guest now or you want to talk a little bit more?
I'm down for whatever. You know me, long as it's fun.
Okay, let's bring him in because we're probably going to ask so many questions about health, fitness, and personal development.
My favorite topics.
And I love that. You know why? Because he's young. So I want to hear the young generation what have to offer for us, especially for personal development. That's very important because we always we think we are older. We think we know all, and we think that our whisper is the one. But we forget about the young generation that have other ideas, and he's very open minded. So I like that because then you're gonna have like another kind of mentality, other kind of source of for you to know stuff and not to be obsolete. Because right now I'm 48, and I know maybe my stuff, they're not working anymore for young generations. So that's why we have this show, because we bring all kind of ages, so we can learn from different backgrounds and different personalities, and also generations, for us to not be obsolete. Because when I'm 94 years old, when I want to be like a 98, I want to still like active and, in the whole thing right now,
I
right?
agree with you. I agree with you. I think first of all, I think you're only as old as you feel, and as old as your mindset dictates to you, right? So
Right.
so for me, I love to know what people are doing at all ages, because it's a fresh perspective. And I
Yes.
think that I think people are innovators at all ages, and what you don't want to do is become stagnant in your thinking and feeling as you are getting older, right? You
Exactly.
want to be able to stay fresh and stay up to date and stay current, and that'll actually help you feel younger. So I think it's really important to get all of those perspectives and see what they're doing. And I think it's, in my opinion, it is a mistake to be so set in your ways that you can't evolve and change with the times. So hearing from the younger generations is, I think, really important, because they have fresh ideas and a different way that they view the world by virtue of when they
Exactly.
were born. So I love that. It's
I
exciting
love
to
that
me.
too. So his name is Basil Michel, and I'm gonna bring him in now. Is a personal trainer, personal developer, and fitness coach. And he also have an open mind, and he have a podcast that he's gonna talk about it. And we wanna see what kind of podcast he have. So I'm kind of curious about all his work. So let's bring her in, right?
Let's bring them in.
Let's bring him. Hi, Basil. How are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you two?
Very good, thank you. Welcome to Hot Topics today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's I can't wait to dive in and answer your questions.
Basil, before we start, people wants to know where's your location, what time is now.
Right now is 20 past 6 p.m. I'm in Bulgaria, in Pomoria, small town right on the sea. And yeah, it's the other, like you said, the other part of the world from where you are.
Completely. Okay, so I'm gonna ask this question, and then maybe Kia have a lot of other questions for you. So who is Basil Michel?
I'm a personal trainer, a nutritional coach as well, and also, as you said, a podcast host from fairly recently. I have like 10 or 11 episodes still from my podcast, but basically why I started the podcast and why I'm doing all the rest of the things is because I found out that people need to to take to put more attention on their health, because that's their baseline. If you don't have the basics, you cannot grow from there. If your body is not in a good situation, a good place, and um you cannot do anything. You cannot expect from it to uh be with you while you do your work, while you try to help people, or while you try to make a living or anything. And I also found out that health and exercise and movement and all those things, they're the basics of also your mood, how you see the world. They can even food can even change your opinion, and I've personally experienced that just the way you eat and the way you take care of yourself can change how you act, how you treat people, how you view the world, how you view every small situation in your day, especially the negative ones. That's if sometimes they can crush you if you're already, if your knees are weak, the weight of the world can crush you easily. So that's my goal, basically.
That's awesome. I have a question for you. You said something very important before, like the way we eat can change your way of thinking. Can you explain that, like how the way we eat can change that?
Well, because if you eat food that is not nutritious, that doesn't give you the doesn't give your body the bricks to build the whole house, uh, it affects your thinking. It affects your brain in the way that, for example, sugar. We all know that sugar is not good for us. It causes inflammation. And that inflammation is everywhere. It's everywhere in our body. I mean, it's not just in your gut, for example. It's not in your bones. Just it's in your brain as well. And if your brain is inflamed, it, first of all, it puts you in a weird, let's say, grumpy mood. It doesn't allow you to think straight. I've experienced that many times. I've tried like periods that I eat, let's say, whatever I can get my hands on, especially when I was working as a truck driver. And I could feel how I didn't slept well. I was waking up in a bad mood. I was grumpy through the whole day. I relied on too much on coffee and energy drinks to give me energy and focus, and I still couldn't focus properly. And that's all because of the food. Because you get inflammation in your brain, and it's like the inflammation is stopping your brain from working properly. And of course that affects your mood, because the inflammation can also be in your gut. And we all know that your gut is like your second brain. Many people say that it's your second brain. And if you have inflammation in both your brain and your gut and your joints, and you have headaches, and you cannot concentrate in at work, and you drink one after the other coffees or energy drinks, that's how the food can affect everything you do in your day.
Wow, I absolutely agree with that. In fact, that is one of the first things that I identified for myself when I started to treat myself for fibromyalgia. And I started to look at it like an autoimmune disorder. And I started to research nutrition and what to modify. And what I found, and because I always talk about how much I love science, in order to, because the doctors couldn't really help me for so many years, and they kept putting me on all these meds, and I felt sick. I felt like I was dying, to be honest with you. And it's exactly like what you were saying. So I started to do these like little experiments on myself with not eating this or trying to eat that, and seeing how I would feel, engaging how I would feel, and then eliminating things that would make me feel bad or trigger an episode of my symptoms. So it's exactly what you said. When I eliminated sugar, and I have actually eat a very small amount of sugar, but by doing so, now if I eat more sugar, like if I indulge, because I love baked goods, honey. Okay, I love Hershey Kisses. I grew up in Hershey, Pennsylvania. They make chocolate there. I mean, like I love Hershey
Yeah.
Kisses very much. But if I eat that stuff, if I indulge in those things, then I can immediately, because I abstain, feel the difference in the way I think and
Mhm.
the way I feel. And it's like that with a lot of things. I enjoy a cocktail, but certain types of whiskeys and things like that make me have a very physical reaction. And so I learn. It was like a trial and error process of learning what my body will digest well and what it rejects, and what the result of that rejection does to me, and the invisible illnesses I live with. So I completely understand where you're coming from. So this gives me a question. Okay, I did sort of like a trial and error experimentation on my own self to figure this out. But if someone is feeling like these symptoms of inflammation, and they have never experienced it before, can you identify what are some of the symptoms that they might be feeling right now?
Well, the symptoms of inflammation can be literally anything, like a headache, a pain in the joints, in the neck, in the back and lower back. It can be in your gut, like you feel swelling in,
Like
in your
bloated.
lower. Yeah, bloating, exactly. um, and you actually did the best thing somebody can do, to actually experiment, because we're all different. Each and every person is different, have different genetics, different, biology, and all that. And a lot of people expect that there's, like a golden magic pill, and for everyone, and it's applicable for everyone, which is not the case. And what you did was the perfect thing you can do. Just experiment, and as long as what you felt was because you actually managed to clean your system. And when the system is at least to some degree clean, now when you introduce again some inflammatory food or sugar or alcohol or whatever, you can immediately feel how exactly how it makes you feel, and what's the negative effect of it. And so the symptoms of inflammation can be literally almost anything that doctors treat with pills. It can be almost anything, all the little thing that you don't even know it's inflammation. It can be inflammation. And the way to actually find out what that is just to do the elimination diet, for example. That's one way. If you don't want to go and actually, hire a personal trainer and hire a coach, or anything, that you don't want to spend money, you can just do it by yourself. Just eliminate. You can search in Google, for example, for the elimination diet, which is basically you eliminate all the major inflammatory food that are thought to be inflammatory. You eliminate them and you introduce them one by one. So you give the time, like you did. You give the time for your body to actually clean itself. It might be a month, 2 months, 3 months. It depends how your lifestyle is and what you've been eating before. And when the body is already clean, so to say, then you can start introducing one by one each and every food, and really pay attention to how it makes you feel immediately after, then maybe 4 hours after, then on the next day, because it takes time for the food to go through all the digestive system. And you can immediately, if you pay attention, you can immediately see how it makes you feel. The thing is that many people are so busy, so stressed, so covered with duties and work and stuff to do, that they don't have even the time to stop and pay attention. Hey, that food doesn't make me feel good, it makes me feel bloated, it gives me gas, or this or that. It's that's why I talk about mindfulness as well, which is another fascinating topic. To be mindful of what you put in your body and how you take care of it and how it makes you feel.
Also, you said also something very important, Basil, about people learning the foods. Like, because people think the sugar is just the sugar that you put in your tea or the sugar that you put in the cakes, but also pasta, bread, all that became sugar. So people say, "Oh, I leave the sugar." It means they don't put sugar in anything, but they're eating pasta, they're eating bread, and that convert in sugar. And that's also very important to know about what exactly are the food that became sugar in your body when you intake it.
Mhm. You mean which foods are also converted? But basically, all the
Sugar.
carbohydrates are converted to sugar at the end. The thing
Exactly.
is, how fast are they converted? The sugar, the plain sugar, the sweets that we eat, the chocolate, the all those things are really fast carbohydrates, meaning that they're absorbed really fast in the blood, and therefore spike your blood sugar, which we don't really want too high or too low blood sugar. Both of them are not good for us. And the different types of carbohydrates, that's how they differ between themselves. That the time it takes for the body to basically convert them into sugar, and the slower the better. Therefore, if we're talking about which foods are, is that what you mean, which foods are slow, let's say slow carbohydrates?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's food. Those are foods like oats, like starches, fruits and vegetables, um, quinoa, like beans, and all those are they have fibers in them, in vegetables and in fruits. That's why it's much better to drink freshly squeezed fruit juice than some bought from the store or whatever, because the ones from the store, they have all the good stuff taken out of them, and you basically drink like sugary water with artificial vitamins added to it, and stuff like brown rice, what else, sweet potatoes as well. Those are the normal potatoes as well, but they are faster. They are faster to be metabolized in the system. So the sweet potato is a good choice. Rice cakes, I eat them a lot. Rice cakes,
I love those.
yeah, because they're, from, most of them are from brown rice. Some of them are not. That's why you should check the label if it's from brown rice or regular. Um, yeah, those are, I think those are the main. If you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, you cannot be wrong. Of course, with the fruits, it's tricky because some, if you eat too much,
It's
there's still
sugar.
sugar. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
they pile up and it becomes a lot. If you eat, you know, one or two after, especially if you combine them with a meal, it's not just a fruit, not just an apple or a banana, but you eat a whole meal, and you eat a fruit for this for dessert, because the combination between the foods, they have like different enzymes and different vitamins and minerals, which basically work synergistically. They work together, and they're much better absorbed and slowly as well, because the as for the fruit, because when you eat it with protein and carbohydrates, it makes the sugar to be absorbed slower because of the other ingredients in the meal. And yeah,
Wow.
that's
I have another question. Like in my personal body, for example, I been trying all kind of food because I have a very irritable stomach, and I have to be careful what I eat. And I found out that if I eat mostly the same thing every day, changing a little bit, I'm better. And like when I try a lot of stuff in the week, like a different food, it irritate me more, my stomach. There's a wrong way and a right way to eat, or that's just the way I eat. That's just the good way for my body.
well, the it depends where the food comes from usually. That's very very important, because the usually if it's non-organic, the food that is grown for mass production, even especially the fruits and vegetables, they are sprayed with all kinds of pesticides and fungicides and all kinds of poison, and many times that's the reason why people get the irritable bowel syndrome, or bloating, or some kind of other condition, because the foods and the fruits and vegetables and other stuff as well are full with toxins, and they those that in our gut is where we absorb the food through the small intestine and the large intestine. And when there are pesticides, basically poison and toxins in your food, that's one of the reasons why you might get problems with your digestion. It can be the actual food. You might be intolerant to that food. It depends also if there's gluten in there or not, because that's another irritant for the bowel, even if you're not gluten intolerant. Because many people think that if you don't have a problem, it's okay to eat it. It's still not okay to eat it. It's just a protein that our body doesn't know what to do with. It's and that's why it becomes a problem at some point. As for your case, as I said, it really depends what the food is, if you're intolerant to it or not. You can experiment with that. For example, stop eating a certain food that you think you might be allergic to or intolerant. Stop eating it for let's say a month or so, then introduce it again and see how it goes. And that's applicable for other foods as well. If you have, for example, yesterday I ate, let's say, tomatoes, and I haven't eaten them for a while, and I have a problem now. Maybe it's from that. Of course, maybe it's from something else, but that's different ways you can experiment and see for yourself, easily why and however something is happening in your body. And of course, you know your body the best. No coach or trainer or anyone would know your body better than you, I mean.
So that also is creating a relationship with the food and yourself, because you're cultivating that relationship. Because people think that relationship is with other people, but you have to have also relationship with your food, like knowing your body, taking care of your body, what food is good, what is good is bad. What do you think about that, Kia?
I agree with you. I actually agree with all of this. I think it's really important to know your own body. And if you are unfamiliar with it, to get familiar with it starting now, and to isolate out the foods that make you feel badly. People are walking around in misery, and it has a lot to do with gut health and a lot to do with what you're eating. And the only real way to know, it's like Vasil said, there's no universal fix, right? It's very individual. We think of ourselves as a collective, but it's okay to be very individualistic and understand how your own body functions and what your body needs. I spent a lot of years in misery because of my health, and listening to doctors and Western medicine, as they say, and listening to my VA healthcare and different doctors for many different years telling me every single different thing, and trying this and trying that, and always feeling miserable. But until I really got in touch with my own body, like how I felt, what foods were making me feel what way, then I became able to isolate what the triggers were. So then I could feel better. I feel like, to be honest with you, I feel like I'm aging backwards, right? I was feeling old and miserable and like tired, and I was super young. Like, I mean, I'm from like my 20s, like feeling worse and worse and feeling like, a 90-year-old woman by the time I was 30. And since then, and since, taking the time to really figure out what works for me and what the response I was having to certain foods were, I feel younger and younger and younger. My skin looks better. I don't get wrinkles. I stay hydrated. And the thing is, well, I should say I have very minimal, very, very minimal wrinkles. But the thing is because I took the time to know myself and to figure out what was going on with my body. So I cannot say that enough. I think if you're walking around feeling tired and old, no matter what age you are, it's worth looking into. There's a couple of things you said that I really am drawn to, and I have questions about. But I think my next question for you will be about the foods. So you mentioned that they use so many toxins on non-organic foods, but we all know that organic foods are very pricey, right? It's getting a little bit better, but still, for the most part, a lot of people can't afford healthy food. They're priced out of their own health. Right. So if we have to buy foods that are covered in toxins and chemicals, how best can we sort of clean those in order to try to minimize the effects of these pesticides and chemicals in our bodies?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I do usually is you put the vegetable, especially the ones that they don't have like outside skin, like a banana, because the banana doesn't need you don't eat the skin, you just eat the inside. So the ones like lettuce, like stuff like that, you can put them in water with baking soda, and leave them there for at least half an hour before you eat them. At least, if you can do 45 minutes, hour, 2 hours, even better, but at least half an hour. Or water and vinegar. That's the two things people can do to get toxins out of the food.
How much baking soda? Like a tablespoon or vinegar?
um More like a teaspoon, more,
Mm.
yeah, something like that, teaspoon of baking soda. And as for the vinegar, maybe a tablespoon, maybe
And
something
enough
like that.
water
Yeah.
to like submerge it, or how much water?
Yeah. So you can submerge them underneath. Maybe you can put some, like a plate on top of them, so it keeps them underwater. And that's the main thing I usually do when I don't know or don't have organic food.
Mhm.
I have
Amazing.
I have a tip for that. If you're gonna submerge that, because if you submerge it for a long time, it gets like a little bit soft. You put ice, and that will keep the letters firm when by the time you eat it.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Like or very cold water. But I
Right.
what I found out is that many times I actually, when I put the letters inside and it's already like soft, it actually gets harder in a way. It's, I don't know if it draws water in there or something happens, but it actually makes it fresher than from before I put it in. I don't know why is that, but I noticed that many times. So
So I have another question. Okay,
yeah.
something that you said a little bit earlier was about mindful eating. Could you share more about what exactly that is? Thanks, honey. Hi, Tendai. Good to see you.
Eh.
Sorry, you were saying what? Excuse me.
Could you talk a little bit more about what is mindful eating?
Aha, yeah, mindful eating. Well, the simple habit of actually paying attention when you eat, how you chew your food. Do you chew your food enough? Because I found myself many times in a hurry, too hungry, or you know, I have like 10 minutes to just eat and go somewhere. And people tend to, myself included, swallow like unchewed food, because in a hurry you're just stuffing yourself with everything, and that food becomes half undigested in a way, because the digestion starts from your mouth, from the
Yes.
saliva. There's enzymes in the saliva that actually break down most of carbohydrates, and the rest, the proteins and fats, they get um, digested in the stomach and in the small intestine. But you can even have an experiment, and just people can actually have an experiment and just try to, next time when you eat, really don't do anything while you eat. Don't check your phone, don't watch TV, don't watch a YouTube video or whatever. Just try and see how you actually don't chew your food, because many people don't, and you can't realize it when you're just distracted with YouTube videos or Facebook or Instagram. But if you actually remove all the distraction and really sit down and pay attention, and take try to chew your food until it's almost liquefied in your mouth. That's the optimal way to actually do it. And many people, including myself, don't do it, all the time. And this is huge, by the way, because especially if you eat something like meat, which is heavier food. Meat, sometimes vegetables, that can also cause problems with your digestion if you don't chew the food properly, because it takes much more effort from your digestive system to actually do your job in a way, because you are too in a hurry to swallow your food. Now the digestive system needs to do double work, or sometimes triple if you're really in a hurry. So
That is
this is
true.
what yeah, this is what I call mindful eating. To just pay attention and to actually feel how the taste of the food feels in your mouth, and how is it chewed enough? Is there do am I swallowing too big of a pieces, or am I chewing properly how it's supposed to do?
And people will recognize that it takes longer time to eat that way. And I said, wow,
Absolutely.
like this is too much. No, that is not too much. That's the way to eat.
And another plus, if you want to lose weight, is that you inevitably eat less if you eat like that. Inevitably, because it takes time for the message to go to the brain that you're already full and you don't need any more food. It takes sometimes something like 10 minutes to actually feel that you're satisfied, but by the time that message goes to your brain to tell you, okay, you can stop eating, you've eaten half a plate or more of food, and then you feel stuffed, and you barely can breathe, and you want to take a nap and all that. When you eat slowly and you chew the food properly, you will inevitably eat less than that food, especially if the food is highly nutritious and good for your body, and it's not some, you know, low quality junk food as they call it.
So I have a question. Since we're talking about mindful eating, and there's different schools of thought on drinking while you eat. What is your opinion? Like drinking water or
Drink.
drinking anything, not like alcohol.
Well, I used to think that when you drink water during your meals, that can damage the digestion process, and all the enzymes and this and that. But after I took my nutrition course, I basically learned from there that the amount of water you need to drink to actually dilute that acid that's in your stomach was something like 50 liters or something like that. So therefore, I of course I didn't take it as a rule from there. What I know is that it's good for your digestion if before, like 15 minutes before you eat, you drink 1 or 2 cups of water, glasses of water, preferably with, if you drink your water with just a bit of salt in there, just a pinch of salt on every liter of water throughout the day. As for during the meal, if you drink a little bit, it's not gonna harm you in any way. Of course, if you drink one after the other cups while you're eating, well, mainly you will feel bloated and you will feel heavy and not very pleasant. But if you drink a little bit of water, like some foods, they are just drier, and they you need a little bit of water just to get them through. But it's not harmful. That's my opinion. It's not harmful if you drink a little bit of water,
I
even
yeah.
before or after.
Kia and Basil, I learned that, and I've been doing that, and it's true. They said you drink water 30 minutes, the meal, and 30 minutes after the meal. And when you drink 30 minutes before, your saliva gets more heavy, so you have a lot of saliva in your mouth. So when you're eating, you don't feel that you need to drink anything because your body is hydrated to intake that food. So when you eat it, and I do that, and I feel I don't need to drink anything while I'm eating. Then when I finish, I wait 15, 20, or 30 minutes, and then I finish drinking the water. And I feel big change in the way I eat. Because before I was eating and drinking because I feel like dry. Oh my God, this is not gonna go through. But then I learned that if 30 minutes or in 30 minutes after, hydrate your body to receive the food.
Also, they say that if you drink 30 minutes before you eat, you will feel more full. So if you're trying to lose weight, you won't eat as much. Do you think that that's true?
If it's 30 minutes before a meal, I don't think so, because it depends on how much you drink. If you drink a glass of water, it will be so quickly absorbed that it's not gonna fill your stomach. But sometimes the feeling of hunger is actually thirst. And if you drink
Yes.
1 cup or 2 cups, maybe three during the day, I'm not saying before or after a meal, but during the day, if you think maybe I'm hungry, maybe I'm not. If you drink 1 or 2 cups of water, you may find out that you're actually thirsty and not hungry. And what Gloria said about the hydration, it's important throughout the day. It's not just before and after the meal, but if throughout the day you're well hydrated, that's what promotes digestion as well. It helps. And also the saliva, as she mentioned, it's correct. So water is important. Hydration is very important, and good quality water as well, because that's another thing that the tap water is not really. It's again similar like the fruits and vegetables, full of all kinds of chemicals, and you know.
Yeah, I
And,
agree. I agree. And especially here with the crumbling infrastructure that we have, a lot of our old cities have old pipes and old water systems. So I think it's really important. And to me, if I drink tap water, it tastes very bad to me. So I have to
Yes.
drink filtered water. And there's all sorts of filters out there that are inexpensive that you can start with there.
Yes.
But I actually am obsessed with alkaline water. And what do you think
Mhm.
about the benefits of alkaline water?
I'm not quite familiar with the details about it, but I've heard only positive things about it. That's what I can say. And I haven't dived in to get information for myself, but I've heard from here and there and podcasts and so forth that it is good. It's I don't know the exact benefits, but apparently it's positive than negative. You know.
Right on. What I know is that from lots and lots of interviews and talking to people and doing my own research, is that your body functions better when it's more alkaline, and things like cancer doesn't grow in that kind of environment. So if you reduce the amount of acids that exist in your body, and drinking alkaline water is a great way to start that process, you can have a lot of health benefits. It's good for your skin, it's good for your hair, and it's good. It's
Mhm.
really good for you. It's really, really good for you. And um, so I definitely recommend it. There and water is there's different waters, right? People don't know that there's different
Yes.
kinds of waters that offer different things. You can get, I think, extra hydrogenated water, and there's this
Yeah.
thing called Kangen water that's supposed to be the best water. It's very expensive, but there's so much water. There are different kinds of water that you can improve your diet, improve your lifestyle, and something else that's really, I have one kidney, right? So I had a kidney
Mhm.
removed a few years ago. So I'm really well versed in water because it's so important for me to be able to live, right, with one kidney.
Yeah.
And what else I can tell you is, for those of us that, we're all aging, no matter what age you are, I can guarantee you're going to age as long as you're alive. But what you can
Mhm.
do is drink a lot of water. Drinking a lot of water keeps you hydrated, keeps your systems running, functioning properly, and it actually is amazing for your skin and keeping it
Mhm.
youthful and plump. So raisins are wrinkled because they're dried out and
Yeah.
dehydrated, right? So if you want to be
Exactly.
plump like a grape, you've got to
Yeah.
be hydrated.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
another thing about the water, when you go to the supermarket to buy your water, make sure the bottle of the water said purified, because all kind of waters, like Kia said, there's some more cheaper than other ones. Yes, but they said purify. That's the water and bottle that you should buy.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay,
agree.
so Basil, so a person comes to you and wants to transform their lives, and I know you help them with the fitness, you coach them with the way they eat, and also personal development, right? Can you
Mhm.
explain to us how do you help to people to work in the personal development? How you start with that?
Well, the first thing that is extremely important is, of course, to get to know the person, because that's where it all begins. Doesn't matter if it's a business coach or a personal trainer, fitness coach, or whatever it is. You need to get to know the person and actually see the situation from their point of view. And from there, of course, you go through different steps, like and it's a common approach from in a different types of coaching. It's not just for a nutrition coach or this or that, but you establish goals. What kind of goals. You break them down to smaller, more achievable things, and those smaller goals, so to say, into a daily habits. For example, uh, I would ask a person things like what he or she is willing to change. Is he willing to change anything at all? Because it's there are different kinds of levels and clients, because not there are some clients who are extremely motivated and who do everything that you told them without a question, without anything. There are people that you need to actually push them a little bit. There are other ones that really want to change but are having trouble changing their habits, changing their lifestyle. It really depends on the case and the willingness of the person to actually change, and their motivation and their goals and their why, of course, why they're doing that. Because sometimes, and I know from experience, that some whys, even though that we think that they're enough, they're not, because apparently we're still not doing what we're supposed to do. So therefore the why maybe is not big enough for us. Maybe we think, yeah, I really want to do to achieve that, or have that body, or have that business, but we still don't do it for some reason. And the reason is usually somewhere, in the mind, or in the subconscious mind even. And the why is, it's really important, because it's the carrot in front of the on the stick in front of the donkey. It drives you to the goal. And if there is nothing big enough to actually drive you, you might not be that motivated. If you're not that kind of person, the go type, the A type person who wants to achieve more and more. If you're a regular person, you might find it hard to actually motivate yourself, or to strive for what you want to achieve, even if you have a coach or a trainer. Because the presence of a trainer, it's not always, um it's not like a sure thing that you're gonna succeed in your goal, because there are many variables that can conflict with that.
Yes.
I agree.
So
Well, you guys know I coach people, so I understand what that means. It takes effective leadership to help people have a successful transformation. And as Brian is running for mayor, and we don't know what's going to happen with London Real Academy. Spoiler alert, my own personal coaching program is going live next month. It's called the Rose Method. Okay. You can probably figure out what that means. So, anyway, so it's going live next month, and with my first group. And so, also, if you're interested in that, send me a DM through, Hot Topics Live. But anyway, so the point is, in order to get people to actualize on their goals at an accelerated rate, because that's what I'm a specialist in, and we pick a goal and we get you to nail that thing. But the thing is I can want it for you. I can push you. I can nurture you. I can tough love you in every possible way. But if you don't first have a big enough why, a big enough reason to want to achieve that goal, you're not going to achieve it. And I've coached so many people by now, probably over 1,000 people, that I can see it immediately on who's going to keep going and who's going to give up. right? Rarely am I surprised anymore about who's going to do what,
Yeah.
right? But it also does come back to understanding the person, like you were saying, like really identifying who that person is and talking to them and engaging with them and connecting with them as a person and really understanding what their thoughts and feelings and passions are. And sorry, Ted, sorry, you distracted me. But yes, that's very true. Blame us, honey. We'll take one. We'll take one for the team.
Every time you go to
Yeah.
the bathroom, just think about us. That's all.
I'm not sure,
Well,
girl.
to
Mm.
pee. Come on. That's it. No more.
But anyway, you got my point. So like you have
Yeah.
to really understand who your client is and what their needs are in order to isolate the way of how to motivate them. And so do you find that you connect with a lot of people whose why is not big enough? And what are some of the reasons why you think that some people give up on their goal?
Well, I think so. I think many people do not start with the big why. They
Mm,
have a why, but it's usually like if you want to get in shape and you ask them what, okay, why do you want to get in shape? Well, because, it's good to be healthy, and that's the reason. Just because it's good, or just now if you have another reason, let's say, well, I'm invited to a wedding in the summer and I want to get in shape. Now this why might be even better than the previous why,
Right.
because now you have, okay, now you have 5 months or 6 months till the wedding, and I need to get going. I need to start working out, start to do this, start to fix my diet. If you're not doing something and your trainer says, well, you're falling behind here, and you immediately think about, okay, there's 3 months more, 3 months more, I need to, it gives you a bit of a bit of a push. And as you said, it's extremely important to get to know the person, and there's of course quite of psychology involved in that. If you have no idea about psychology, it's hard to actually get to understand other people. That's why they say understand yourself, so you can, that's what many people do, that's what I did. Understand yourself so you can understand others. And of course, the deeper you go into psychology and subconscious and all those topics, which are very interesting, it becomes easier to understand people just by listening to their tone, to their body language, to the way they speak. Everything, you can get a lot from that, a lot of information from just their body language and how they speak, how their voice is changing, and all of those things, and they are part of the person, the individual. And I think people who are good trainers and coaches, they need to take that in what do you call it, like
Consideration.
yeah,
Consideration.
consideration, exactly. Yeah, because as we said, our bodies are different, and especially our personalities are also different. So if you take a different approach for a different body, you take a different approach for a different individual, of course, because it's maybe the way you used with the previous client will not work with this one. So
yeah.
yeah, that's
I trying to put his information. It looks like it went into this small thing.
That's okay. It's there. And we're going to talk about that now, as a matter of fact. So
Yes,
let's
because
talk
we
about,
have 54 minutes so far.
I mean, that hour just flies by. So let's
yeah.
talk about your show, right? Let's talk about your
Yes.
podcast. What can we expect when we are tuning in?
Well, I talk about basically everything that I find interesting. Most recently, it's mostly about health, because I figured out that we're in a situation that, for luckily, more and more people are trying to pay attention to their health, it's sad that it had to come to a virus to make them actually remember, oh wait a minute, I have a body to take care of, but it's still a positive thing that they're trying to improve. And the last 3, 4, or maybe 5 episodes are mainly on health, but I just like to talk about any interesting topic that gives me a fascination or whatever. I've talked in the beginning about more of an esoteric stuff, which I love as well, like mindfulness and spiritual stuff and all those things. I like them as well. And basically, something interesting is that the name of the podcast, Project New Earth, I actually stole that from a book of Dolores Cannon, where they talk about the New Earth. And if I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but in my view, the New Earth is filled with people who are evolved in any way, any aspect of their life. They're just in better health, they're happier, they're more positive, they're nicer to each other. They're not There's no envy, there's no jealousy, there's no hate and discriminancy or whatever. That's my view of the New Earth. The people who realize that there is other ways to actually live on this planet, and it's not about just working and sleeping and do the same thing all over again, Monday to Friday, uh, waiting for Friday and the weekend to be happy or whatever. There are many things that we don't know about being here on this planet, and there are many questions that we should be asking, and not many people are, in my opinion, unfortunately. But I think more and more people are becoming to ask questions that they didn't ask them before, they didn't ask themselves before. And so that's my vision for a new earth, for
That's
the new
awesome.
earth.
That's awesome. So his podcast name is Project New Earth, and it's in podcast and Spotify, iTunes, and all the platforms, right?
Yeah, correct. Google Podcast and all the rest.
All of them. All right, Kia. Any other question before we wrap it up? Because it's 57 minutes right now.
Well, I just want to say that I love the New Earth concept that you have. It aligns with our mission. The idea that we could all just be kinder to each other and more loving is the way I live my life every day. So I know it's possible. If more
Yeah.
people, it seems to me though, I am so blessed to keep connecting with people with the same kind of mentality where they
Yes.
just want to have this more like heaven on earth sort of experience, which is
Mhm.
people are kind to each other. There is no prejudice and discrimination. There is, that's dying out or evolving away or changing. And there's more and more people who are no matter what you believe in, right? Spiritually or non-spiritually, but you're just kind. You're just a kind
Mhm.
person, no, despite your beliefs, and that you're good to other people and uplifting. And I think the more people that connect and spread that message out and people awaken to, that's actually a better reality than this sort of survival of the fittest, dog eat dog. If we're all helping and supporting each other, then everybody sort of can evolve upward no matter what state that you're at, because we're all going to be at different levels anyway, because we're all growing at different rates and paces. So I think it's beautiful. I love Dolores Cannon and I'm very fond of her work. So I love that message. I love Project New Earth. I think everybody should listen to it. And of course, Vasil is one of our students at London Real Academy. So it's always a pleasure for me to be able to support and promote the work that our students are doing, because we're so blessed to have so many amazing people that we connect with at London Real. And if you haven't seen London Real, check it out at londonreal.tv or on YouTube. So, and you know what I'm talking about. So, and with Brian and all of that. So, Vasil, I want to thank you for coming to Hot Topics and being our guest today. It's been an incredible pleasure to talk to you and connect with your energy and get to know you better and hear your thoughts on nutrition. I hope it helps a lot of people, and keep doing what you're doing. I'm super proud of you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much for your invitation. And just to remind people that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So always try to help yourself first and then try to help others, because we know you cannot help if you need help yourself. So
Wise
That is
words.
exactly. Oh, yeah.
Wise words.
And the language of love, of course.
yes,
Absolutely.
always.
All right, my dear, thank you so much for being Hot Topics today. I'm going to put you in the green room. We're going to wrap the show. And if you can wait for us, cool. If you need to go, we talk in another moment. And they're going to put you in the green room right now.
Okay. Thank
you
you.
so much.
Bye, honey. So,
Wow.
you can't pour from an empty cup. That is like
Yes.
one of my mottos of life. You see how everything aligns? And because number one, it all comes back to self-love and believing that you are enough. So if you're not sure, I'm going to tell you right now, you are enough. So repeat after me. You ready? I am enough. Your turn.
I am enough.
I am enough. One more time.
I'm enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
Okay, so now we're going to go slay the day, and it starts there. Repeat that to yourself every day if you need to, because the more you tell yourself good things about you, the more you find those beautiful, wonderful, unique things about you, and you tell them to you, you become self-assured. And when you're self-assured, you can be confident. And when you're confident, you can do anything. It all starts here. It's a mindset. So tell yourself good things today, fill up your cup, and then spill that love out to everybody around you. And we will have that Project New Earth that Basil was talking about.
Awesome. I love that. And also, Kia, I love that you coming next month with your new project with the Rose Method. And Kia is my coach. And Kia know my transformation already for a year and something more. And we've been in through a lot. And if it was not for her, I would not be here. And if you want to see what kind of coach she is, just look at me and look everybody we bring here. There are people very successful, and she help you to ground you and move forward. And I'm so happy for you, Kia, because it was time for you, because I was telling you, you coach so many people, you need to do your own, and here it is, I'm so happy.
Well, when people start reaching out to you going, I really want you to be my coach, what do you do?
Yes.
And it was like multiple people. So I said, you know what, it's time. I created this coaching method from everything I learned. Thanks, George. From Brian Rose, my mentor. And I took that stuff and I framed it in the way that I deliver it, my style. So I think that's people who vibe with me will really, really like that and really see a lot of rapid transformation from that and a lot of results. I'm super confident in it because I know that it works, because I've done it with over 1,000 people. And I would say the vast majority of them have been incredibly successful in their transformation. And I'm super proud of them, and so I developed this while I was working with London Real, but as also learning their business accelerator program. So this is a digital program that we teach at London Real, and I had to take the program in order to teach it. And so what I created was the Rose Method, and I sort of put it on the back burner because I was so busy with London Real and everything else that I do. But things happen when they're meant to happen, right? We come back to divine timing.
Yes.
And people started to ask me, they've seen my workshops I do with female veterans and some of the Zoom speeches I've given and some panels I've been on, and they connected with my energy and wanted me to support them in their goals and their transitions in life. And I'm here for it. I'm here for spreading that love. So So it's coming to life, and I'm super
coming.
excited to launch it next month.
Yeah.
And we're gonna just see how it goes. And it's very, very small. I can only take on, because I coach so many people with London Real. That's a lot of people already. So whether London Real continues past the election in May or not, I can only take on so many people at a time, because I devote myself to them. I give everything I can give. And so it's a lot of time and it's a lot of energy. And those are the two most valuable things that we have. So it's not super cheap, but it's not super expensive as far as pricing goes. And it's a 5 or 6 week program that can go on monthly. There's different options there. And essentially, I'm only going to take on 6 to 8 people, maybe 10. So right now, I'm starting with 4, and we're going to see how that goes. And then I might add in a few more, but it's very exclusive. Space is very, very limited. So if you want to be a part of it, you want to be a part of the inaugural crew, then just hit me up via private message to our Hot Topics page, and I'll respond back to you, and we'll go from there.
Wow, that's good. So, my dear, we need to wrap it up because we have 1 hour and 5 seconds. So we need to say goodbyes.
That's right. You know, our show ends at 1 hour and 11 minutes, right? Remember?
Yeah, you're right.
Change
Yes,
that.
yes.
So don't worry, we're all good. We're early. But anyway, you're right. We are going to wrap it up. I want to say thank you for everyone who spent this hour with us. All of our favorite regulars who popped in at this early time because they had their notifications set. They saw that we were live, so they tuned in. So we appreciate you for that. If you are new with us, set your notifications so that you know when we come live, because we do stuff like this. And we're starting a new series, right, Gloria, on Instagram. Yes. So follow at Hot Topics the podcast on Instagram so that you can catch our new series. We're going to start doing book series. So yes. I think the series is that a word? Maybe. So you get my point. Okay. Serious. So we're going to be live for 1 hour on Instagram with our first special guest who's going to do our book series with us is none other than Angeline Constanel, who was our guest last Thursday on Hot Topics, if you haven't seen it, right? So she's going to come and we're going to discuss this book about verbal abuse. So if you're not sure if you're perpetrating verbal abuse, if you think maybe you're receiving verbal abuse, if you just want to know what it is so you don't do it, this is something for you to watch and tune into. We're going to start in April. We'll be updating you as we get closer to start time. And it's sort of like a book club in a way. So we're going to listen to the book and then we're going to explain it to you so you don't have to listen to it. Or you can listen to it and go along with us. So it's going to be
they can comment what their perception about the book, because the perceptions are completely different for everybody.
Exactly. So super interactive. It's Instagram Live. Same thing as how you do a live. We'll be talking to you. You'll be talking to us. We'll be hanging out for an hour and discussing this book. So that's kind of happening in April, but we'll keep you posted. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you set your notifications, hit the like button, and share. Please help us spread the word. We're just starting to grow on YouTube, exploring that. And so help us out. And I'm Kia Baker. I am the host and creator of the Female Veterans Podcast, a woman warrior stories and success coach at London Real Academy. And I am joined by this magnificent beauty,
Gloria Goldberg. Well, I'm Gloria Goldberg, the founder and the creator of the podcast Unbreakable Life with Glory, where I talk about depression, anxiety, and PTSD in a holistic way and natural way to always make you feel better. And also the host and creator of the bilingual show, The Gloria, that's every Wednesday and Fridays, because we add a new time, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, hora de Miami, and Fridays 2 p.m. Eastern Time, hora de Miami, 2 p.m. And this Friday, I'm going to have Ana Rito. So I'm so happy.
Oh my gosh, she's feeling better. Good. I can't wait. So if you guys don't remember Anna, she's a nutritionist that came on Hot Topics in November, actually November 18th. So that's the November 18th episode. You can scroll back through our episodes and find it. It was brilliant. This one is going viral. So like it has so many
Yes.
views. People love that episode. You should check it out. And she's going to be on the bilingual show on Friday. So then you get to
Yes.
check that out too. And she will be back to Hot Topics really
We're
soon.
gonna talk about depression and anxiety because she went through a situation that she's pregnant, and she
Mhm.
wants to talk about that because probably a lot of women that are pregnant right now going through kind of anxiety and depression in some way.
Girl,
So
with my first baby, I had depression, pregnancy depression, and I didn't even know that was a thing. So this is such a good topic because I
yes,
was like, what is wrong with me? Why am I not excited? It was like, we could talk about that another day, but it was a whole thing that women need to understand. And until I read a book that actually helped me when I was pregnant, but it was really hard. So I'm so excited for you. That's going to be a great topic.
yes. Okay, so thank you so much to be in Hot Topics today. We see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Easter time. And just hashtag replay and tell us where you're watching us and share, and like. And that's it. So
Um,
that's it, Kia, for today. Our mission is completed.
we did a great job.
Yes.
I hope everyone got a lot out of that episode. It's super early for me. I'm tired. I might go lay down for a while, but I love you guys and thank you so much for watching.
Bye bye.